Hi, welcome back to my kitchen. I'm Larry, and this is Dad What's for Dinner, a stay-at-home guide's Dad to home cooking. In keeping with my new food vlog styling, I think what we're going to do here is I'm just going to start getting ready for the process of making dinner. It's about noon on a given weekday. I think it's Thursday, but it doesn't really matter. It's about this time every day I start thinking about what am I going to be making for dinner. So today it happens to be using one of my favorite hacks, or shortcuts, if you will, and utilizing Epicure. I don't have, I'm not sponsored by them or anything, or I just use them. I like their products. So I go into my pantry and I go through what we have. And this is what we're looking for today. We're going to be making crispy, crunchy lettuce wrap using Epicure. So for that, I know that I'm going to need, we're going out to my freezer in my garage and show you what we got in here. Pretty loaded up, but I'm going to need about a pound of chicken, and I got some thighs, and these are 1 pound packages, so we're set. So back into the kitchen, and we're going to get this chicken set to thawing. And usually the way I do this is I just fill up my clean sink with some hottish water and put the chicken in there and let it go. Sorry, I'm kind of new to the whole vlog thing, so it's going to be kind of a weird transition from what I'm usually doing. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and get the chicken started thawing, and then I'll see you later when it's time to start meal prep. Okay, so my chicken is thawed out. We actually are going to need ground chicken. So I think I've done this before in the video for the Mexican meatloaf, where I took whole chicken and diced it up, and then we're going to put it through the food processor to make our ground chicken. Now, I don't know about you, but I can find ground chicken at my local butcher. I can find ground turkey at the grocery store, but I've never really, don't think I've found ground chicken, or maybe I'm just not looking in the right place, but this really doesn't take that long, and I'm pretty happy with the results. So I'll link to that Mexican meatloaf video in the description, and y'all can see that. But I'm also going to do it again here, and all I'm doing is just cutting this into cubes. Doesn't have to be exact. And I'm not really trimming any fat off of here, because you do want some of the fat in the ground meat. And then I'm going to put it on a sheet tray, and that sheet tray is going to go in the freezer for about 10 or 15 minutes just to firm up, and then we'll grind it. We'll be back. Okay, so we're back. It's been about 15 minutes, and we're going to go ahead and put the chicken into the food processor. And this will take about 30 seconds to process. Like I said, it doesn't take that long, and the end product I think is probably better than what I get at the store anyway. So it's not really that inconvenient to grind this. Now we're gonna go ahead, chop it up. Take a look at that. A little bit more. There's still some big chunks in there. I think we're going to call that good. That's what we're looking for. And I'll go ahead and put that in the fridge, and that'll be ready for when it's time to cook dinner. Okay, so it is dinner time to fix dinner. So we're going to take that chicken that we ground up. To that, we're going to add our Epicure spice mix. And again, not sponsored by them, just like their products. They have never ingredients, and you can actually pronounce most of the ingredients they have. I don't know if you can see that or not, but that's all that's in there. To this, we're going to add a tablespoon of water. I'm just following the package directions. A teaspoon of sesame oil, a teaspoon of soy sauce, and I'm going to add in the equivalent of 2 diced peppers. The recipe calls for green peppers. My wife's allergic to green peppers, so we use the multicolored. And for the really observant of you, yes, these are frozen. They were sitting in my fridge for a long time, so I went ahead and diced them up, flash froze them, and now we're going to use them in this recipe. The only real difference is going to be that it's going to probably prolong the cooking time. And we're going to just mix that up. Get everything well combined. I think I'm going to switch to a fork because my spatula doesn't seem to be doing the job. So, but we want everything well incorporated. So we're pretty well mixed up here, so I'm going to go ahead and move this over to the stove, and we'll get it in the frying pan. Okay, so we're at the frying pan. We'll go ahead and start the stove. And this is a teaspoon of oil, just regular canola, whatever oil you're going to use. Doesn't have to be a lot of oil. We're going to let that heat up. Okay, once that oil is heated up a little bit, we'll go ahead and scrape everything in there. Spread that out. You got that flame on about medium high. And we're going to let that cook. So not that I'm a professional chef or anything, but a lot of people think that browning meat just means cooking it. And it's not just that. What you're trying to do when you brown meat, besides getting it up to a specific temperature, if the recipe actually calls for it to be browned, you want the meat to come in contact with the skillet so that it actually browns the meat, which is flavor. Okay, so this has been going for a minute or two. We'll take a look at it and see what we got going. We're cooking the chicken here, but we're not exactly browning it, so we're going to let that go for a little bit longer. While that chicken is browning, I'm going to go ahead and get the rice ready. Doesn't specifically call for rice in the recipe, but this is usually how we serve it. And I make my rice in my Instapot, so works out a 2-to-1 ratio. So I have 2 of these cups that came with it, and then we're going to rinse the rice. Okay, so when I rinse my rice, I just run it under the cold water, and then I swirl it. And then I just drain it. And I drain it through my hand, trying to catch anything that might fall out. Throw it back in the pot, and then I'll give it one more rinse. Just rinse and repeat. And this is pretty much my regular process, trying to, maximize my time, so everything comes out pretty much the same time when it's time to eat. So I put in 2 cups of rice. Then it means I'm going to need 4 cups of water. So it's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we're going to go ahead and put this in the Instapot. So let's put that in the Instapot. Select the rice function. Put the lid on. Make sure that's sealed, and it'll take care of itself. Be back in 12 minutes. Okay, so we're getting a little bit of color on there. It's going to be, this is a non-stick skillet, so we're not going to get quite as much browning as you might like, but you get the point. You can see there's some color on here. So we're going to keep cooking. Try to break up any chunks of big chunks of that ground chicken. One thing I like about these Epicure meals is that they're start to finish. They're usually like a half hour or less, so they're a pretty quick and easy meal. And I've got a busy teenager, so that's always appreciated. So we're going to let this cook till it's done, and then have that rice ready, and then it'll be time for dinner. Okay, so I don't know if y'all can see this in the camera or not. There's a lot of extra juice that's coming off of that, and that's because of those frozen peppers that I'm using. So like I said, that's the consequence of using the frozen peppers. They were flash frozen, so they'll be fine in this preparation, but there is a little extra juice, so we just have to kind of cook that until it evaporates off. But the end product isn't going to be any different. Now, again, disclaimer, I'm not a professional chef, and if that goes against culinary science, then I apologize, but this is what works for me and mine. Alright, so all that excess liquid is kind of boiled off. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the heat off and wait for that rice to get done, and then it will be time for dinner. So just a couple comments. I mean, the serving suggestion for this, I'll read it directly from the packet. It says make 8 stacks of 2 stacked lettuce leaves. Top each stack with about a half cup of filling. So, and there's a picture of it, right? We don't like doing that. What we usually end up doing is use tortillas and make more or less tacos with this. So, yeah. Do what you want. So I apologize. I didn't take a video of me plating up this and serving it, but here's a shot of the end product. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you liked this video. If you did, make sure that you like, subscribe, and share, and we will see you next time. Thanks again for watching.